Hi, people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Delphine, and today I'll be showing you how to draft a vintage shirt. Now, this shirt is actually something that's giving me a tough time in a way because I did it the first time and the video quality was so poor I had to redo it. But this time around I used Adobe Illustrator. So you'll be seeing two screens, hope you don't mind. I just decided to use the two screens so that you can use the one I drafted out manually to reference the digital one. So without wasting much of your time, let's get to that. But then I want to say thank you to all of you who have subscribed because coming to my channel each time and seeing the number increase has been a source of motivation. And I just feel like doing more, and more. Now, please, if you've not subscribed yet, kindly hit the subscription button and the notification bell so that you'll be able to get notified each time I post a new video. Now, at the end of this video, please, I would like you to comment to tell me which method of pattern drafting is better. Should I start using the Adobe Illustrator more, or do you still prefer the pen and paper method of drafting out patterns? So, yes, let's get to it. So the first thing to do is to lay our pattern flat on a surface and then we roll out our base points vertical and horizontally, 1.5 for the horizontal and 5 inches for the vertical, or rather the other way around. It's 5 inches from the mid side inwards and then 1.5 from the top of the pattern paper downwards. Then we now place um our neck width with the calculation as you can see on the screen, which is our neck circumference divided by 4 minus 0.5 for our neck width. So mine is 3 inches for my neck width and the neck depth is 2.5. The measurement for the neck depth is neck circumference divided by 4 minus 1. So now I'm going to make my curve for the neckline. So I'll use a curved ruler and place my make a curved line as you can see. And on the Adobe Illustrator, I'm simply going to create a curved line connecting each point. So now I'm taking my shoulder slant of 1 inch downwards. Then I'm going to place my armhole depth, which is my armhole circumference divided by 2. I'll mark the midpoint of this line. Then I'll take my shoulder measurements downwards to meet up with the armhole depth I just marked earlier on. And I'm going to place my bust circumference divide plus ease divided by 4 plus my sewing allowance on that line. So now I'm going to use my French curve to create um my armhole curve. So the next thing after that will be to place my the length of my shirt, which is 28 inches from the shoulder, the nape. So the beginning of the pattern paper, I use my tape to measure 28 inches downwards. Now, there's a little hack you should know about shirts. Shirts is not like the normal bodies we know. The front of the shirt is always shorter than the back. So whatever you remove from the front, you add it to the back. So let's say for this shirt I'm removing 1.5 inch, 1.5 inches from the length of the shirt. So at the end of the day, I'll place in 28 minus 1.5 plus half an inch for joining at the shoulder, and then 1 inch for hemming. So I'll see it come out with 28 inches. But then at the back, I'm going to increase the value of the back by 1.5. So you may not know this, but if you see any shirt and put it on, you'll notice that the shoulder seam comes forward in a way. It comes like an inch forward, depending on the allowance that was added to it. So here, as you can see, I'm going to place my length of the shirt from the beginning of the pattern paper downwards. So after getting the length of the shirt, I'm going to use that measurement across, and then I'm going to place my hip measurement plus ease allowance divided by 4, and plus my hemming allowance, my sewing allowance rather. Yes, and to the length of the shirt, we are supposed to add our hemming allowance. Yeah, I think I've mentioned that already. So then now I'm going to connect my armhole, the point of my armhole to the hemline. And then the midline between these 2 points, I'm going to mark it in and go in by zero point 0.5. So this shirt is not a customized shirt. It's for both, it's a unisex shirt. So a male or a female can use it. So you have to be mindful of the level of contouring you put to it. So instead of taking the waist measurement, I'm simply going to move in from that seam line by zero point 0.5 inch at the midpoint. So as a side note, please ignore the the overexcited arrow. My cursor is just moving all over the screen, but do not be distracted by this. I'm simply trying to get the points, the things I need on Adobe Illustrator. That's why you are seeing the arrow so rapidly. So as you can see on the screen, I'm connecting my armhole to the hemline, which will form our side seam. Then at the midpoint of this line, I'm going in by zero point 0.5. So on this section, what will I say, my physical my physical drafting, you can see that I'm marking the midpoint, and I'm going to move inwards by zero point 0.5. Then I'll connect it with my ruler. I'll rule a line from the armhole to that point I marked, the zero point 0.5 point I marked. Then I'll take that same point downwards to the hemline. So the edge of the hemline has to have a curve. To achieve this, I'll go up on that side seam from the hemline portion upwards by 1 inch. Then on that hemline, the hip line, I'm going I'm going to measure the midpoint. So I'll use a curve ruler to connect it to give me a curve. So moving on to the upper part of this cloth, I'm going to measure 1 inch towards the allowance we left earlier. So this 1 inch will serve as our button allowance. This is where our button and our buttonholes will sit to overlap on each other. So for this shirt, it has a facing. that is not detachable. That's it's the same fabric. So that was why I added an extra of 5 inches to the side. So removing 1 inch for the button placement, I'll have 4 inches remaining. So that 4 inches, I'll fold it inwards so I'll be able to um get the actual measurement of the neckline. I don't know how I'm going to explain this with words, but as you watch, you understand what I'm saying. So on the screen, on the side that I'm drafting, you see me folding my pattern paper. Then I'll use a tracing wheel to trace out the neckline. But on Adobe Illustrator, I'm simply going to use a rectangle and place it, overlap it on the midpoint, the center front of the pattern I'm drafting. So since we're not focusing on that, let's look towards the side I'm physically drafting. So I'll fold it inwards from that 1 inch I placed for my button. I'll fold it inwards, then use the tracing wheel to trace out the neckline so that if I fold it in at the end of the day, I will not have any shortage at any point. So what I'm doing now is simply to trace the neckline using the tracing wheel. So after tracing this out, I'm going to have a curve at the neckline so that if I fold in my facing, everything will match perfectly. After this, I'm simply going to turn it back over and use my pencil and my marker to trace it out, to mark it out, so it to be very visible. While we watch as I trace out the lines on my pattern paper using a marker pen, let me quickly talk about Adobe Illustrator. So I started using this early this year, and I realized there are so many benefits to it. This video was actually not planned, but with Adobe Illustrator, I was able to draft out something this week. So you can actually use it to duplicate your patterns, that's grade your patterns into different sizes. You can print out digital patterns. You can actually sell your patterns. So if you are good with pattern drafting, or you're learning pattern drafting, you can actually use it to draft out patterns and sell them. So it's a source of income on its own. There are a lot of benefits attached to this, and I've been using it over time, and I've become comfortable with it to an extent. Yeah, I've become comfortable with it. So if you want to learn, please leave a comment or send me a message about your interest. So I will know if I can make a course that is specific to Adobe Illustrator for pattern drafting. I'll be expecting your response, so I will know where to how to move forward. So now for the back piece rather, I'm folding in my allowance for the button and the overlap. Then I'm extending my shoulder measurements by 1.5. So I'm simply taking 1.5 above the the um horizontal baseline. So I'm taking 1.5 inch above, and I'll take it across to be my back shoulder measurement. So moving from there, I'm going to mark 1.5 inch as my neck depth, and the neck width for the front and back remains the same, so it's 3 inches. And I'll take 1 inch shoulder slants like we did for the front. But there's a difference between the length of the shoulder between the two parts. The back shoulder is a little bit longer than that of the front. So the back, you can either add 1 inch or 1.5 to the length of the shoulder. Then that's what I'm saying is your shoulder divided by 2 plus 1 or plus half. So after taking that, I'm going to connect it using a curved ruler to the midpoint of the front armhole curve. So this concludes our back portion. Guys, we're done with this the drafting of the body parts of a vintage shirt. So you can use this for other shirts as well. Then I'm simply going to trace out the pattern for the back. I'll trace it out and then differentiate it so that at the end of the day you'll be able to identify which part is which part. And I'm going to label it. This will be my front part, and I'll be cutting two pieces. And I want to say thank you to you all for being with me. Please like, share, and subscribe as usual. Share with your friends and family, anyone you feel this video might help. And please leave a like, as your like will help this video to go wider to people that need the video. Then for the sleeve block, I already have a sleeve on the channel. You can check it out. I'll not be drafting another sleeve since I already have a pattern for that. So in the sewing part of this video, that's the next video I'm going to post. I'm going to show you how to draft out the collar and how to attach it and sew with this part of the pattern. So watch out for that and give me your thoughts in the comment section. I would like to see your comments. I would like to see if you practice this and your results. So guys, I'll be seeing you in my next video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm really grateful. See you again. Bye. Love you. Kisses. Bye.